Good. Like
Great.
I woke up very excited to talk with you today.
Cool. Well, thank you for inviting me, and I'm always happy to talk about Ayurveda. So,
How long have you been doing this for?
since 2014, solely with Ayurveda, but I've been in the yoga and health industry since um, early 2000s.
So like I've been doing like when I went to massage school in early 2000s, I was doing Eastern medicine, but I didn't really feel comfortable like it wasn't clicking completely.
Okay.
But I was doing things, and then I realized I was doing more. This is closer to 2014-ish, 15-ish. I realized
Yeah.
doing something slightly different, and then I stumbled onto Ayurveda then, and I was like, oh wait, I am following the same routines as what they're teaching. So I was like, all right, let's get into it. So I started getting a little bit more into it, and I started following uh, Dr. Oh, why am I forgetting his name now? Oh,
The art? Is it?
yes.
Yes. Yeah. He's amazing.
I started following him, and I was like, wow, it's all making sense. Oh, I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And then I stumbled onto you. I was like, oh, she's doing it too. I don't really know many people that does it like for a living.
Right, right. Well, it's definitely going to become more popular. I was just at the Ayurveda conference in California a couple of weeks ago, and it's definitely growing. So
That is to be known for me. Like I'm starting to really get into it. I've been putting it into my practice.
great.
Like before, I used to just trickle it in. Now it's just like you have to know your constitution. You have to know, what food is good for you. But what else is there in food? Like what I want to do. Let's actually get into it. What I want to do is actually so my clients can see it's not just me saying it. Someone else saying
Right.
it. Could you explain the the three doshas and
Yeah.
why it's important to know that?
Yeah.
Could you do that for me?
I could, absolutely. No problem.
So, what is because I have so much I want to ask you. All right. So, what are the three doshas?
Oh, so you're recording already? Okay.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize you're recording. All right.
It's
Okay.
already like I have it set up already to kick on.
Oh, okay. So should we start again, or I didn't realize you were recording already?
No, it's okay. My clients are very, very easy. This is not like
Okay.
we're gonna be summoning this. This is us. This is the way I do things. I like having fun.
Okay, great. Okay, so the three doshas of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So let me backtrack a little bit because the three doshas are made up of the five elements of nature: space, air, fire, water, and earth. And those elements go into combine the three doshas of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So Vata is made up of air and space. So this is the energy of movement. You think of air and space, it's very light. It's an energy of movement. It's like the wind in nature. And a Vata person is somebody who likes to move a lot. They're always on the go. Do you want me to go into the characteristic types?
Just very small.
A little bit. Okay. So Vata person is that person always on the go. Even if they're sitting still, they're tapping a pen or their leg is going up and down. They just have lots of energy. And they tend to be a smaller frame body, very creative types, but always on the move. Pitta is made up of fire and water, and they are like the sun's heat in nature. They can be very intense people, very organized, type A leaders, politicians, good speakers, but they're can be a little bit intense, very structured, very goal oriented. And they would be like a medium build, again, very focused and competitive people. And then we have Kapha, which is made up of earth and water. And you think of earth and water together, it creates like a building block. These people are like foundations. It's all about, Kapha is more about building a foundation. It's about establishing lubrication in the body, and they are very grounded people. They tend to have a bigger body type, very like natural, very easygoing. They tend to be natural carers, really happy-go-lucky people. Go ahead.
I was gonna say my wife is a Kapha.
Okay, yeah, they make great partners. They are like solid. They stay in. When they're committed to something, like whether it be work or relationship, they're in it, and they're just happy-go-lucky. They want everyone to be happy, go with the flow, and they're just natural carers. They're great mothers, great providers. They're good people to be in relationship with.
So well, the way that I run the practice and use Ayurveda is like I take bits and pieces of it. I'm not a skilled practitioner in everything, so I take the scheduling of it. I take the general aspects of how to eat within your body type, right?
Yep.
And then I balance it from there. With my wife, she struggles with me because I wouldn't even say she struggles with me. What she's struggling with is the number on the scale because she holds so much water weight.
Right.
We just did the Khichdi cleanse. Well, I did the Khichdi cleanse and she did a juice detox, but she didn't lose numbers on the scale. And I was just like, I don't really know where to take it from there because we have everything in line.
Yeah.
What else?
Right. Well, the thing with kapha is kapha tends to have a very slow, sluggish digestion. Unfortunately, sometimes they even look at food and, they tend to gain weight easily and have a hard time losing it. But what's important for kapha is to make sure that you're only eating when you're hungry, when you feel the real signs of hunger. Also, kapha has a tendency to hold on to emotions and not to express their emotions very well. So therefore, there can be sometimes emotional eating involved. So I think recognizing where it's real hunger versus maybe it's thirst, or thirst is a weak sense, and maybe we think we're hungry when it's actual thirst, or if it's emotional hunger. Also, it's very important for kapha to know what to eat. Now, because kapha has a cold body type, they need warm, easy digestible foods with digestive spices, things like black pepper or cinnamon or ginger to help out. So in the example of your wife doing a juice cleanse, it may not be the best because there's less roughage. Because kapha has a sluggish digestion, they need the roughage, the fiber in the fruit. So a smoothie would be better, but in fact, it's still maybe too cold for your wife in this case. She needs like more warm foods and something that's going to be fibrous to move the elimination along.
So what I caught on to, because my practice is all physical, mental, and emotional. Mm-hmm. So the way I've been using Ayurveda was solely just to balance out the blood sugar level, have the body work with it. But what you just made me think about is if she's holding on to emotions, she won't be able to get out of that fight or flight mechanism on the back burner, which then will go slow down things. So if I did emotional and mental belief work with her, her body will be more likely to release numbers on the scale as well.
Right. Well, absolutely. I mean, we know now that what goes on in your mind affects your body and vice versa. But also the fact that with kapha, sometimes if there's undigested emotions and if they're being repressed, not only does that create inflammation in the body, but also there may be a tendency towards using food as as an emotion, as a comforter, because those emotions aren't dealt with. And it's just a natural tendency. It's not saying that every kapha person will do that, but it's a natural tendency to really to withdraw when things are going on or when things get stressed, to withdraw. They have a tendency towards withdrawing from, socially. And that could mean suppressing emotions and not digesting them and talking them through.
What about for vata types? What do you struggle with vata types? What do you think is the toughest one to deal with for a high vata?
High vata,
deep stuff with high vatas.
Yeah, the vata, you mean mentally or just in general?
Ooh, now that's also a better question as well.
I will tell you in general that for vata, it's the routine. Because vata people, like I said earlier, they're always on the go, they're always moving, and they love to be spontaneous. However, because they're always on the go, in Ayurveda, we have this very simple principle that like increases like. So therefore, if a vata person is naturally, movement, always moving, their mind's always moving as well. So they tend to overthink and overanalyze and maybe get anxiety or worry. So if that vata person then has a job where they're commuting a lot, or they have a hectic lifestyle, erratic schedule, or they do crazy sport, that they're out there running a lot or they're doing biking or whatever. If their lifestyle tends to be go, 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 which in our lifestyle today, it is go physically and mentally. you know, you're multitasking on the computer. So all that can aggravate vata, meaning the like increases like, the excess movement mentally and physically will increase vata. And that will cause a lot of issues. Physically, they tend to lose weight, or they have a smaller body frame, but more so mentally. They will maybe suffer from anxiety, or even feeling down, depressed. Like I said, overanalyzing, overthinking, that can lead to indecisiveness, erratic mind, just a restless mind. So therefore that could have problems in their day making decisions, but also winding down at night to go to sleep.
And that's why they have a hard time sleeping.
Yeah.
So
they can't switch off. Their nervous system is going. So a nightly routine is key.
So how far, like, because I have one of my clients, he's legitly flipped, where he's actually trying to go to sleep in the 2 o'clock hour, which is high vata time in the nighttime.
He's like 2 a.m. or?
2 a.m.
Oh, wow. So that's his normal bedtime.
And that's what he's been doing for over a decade. And I'm trying to flip him back and push him back. And then he's having a hard time. And I've been trying to get him to do the routine.
Yeah.
Do a routine that's going to start getting him back to like 1, get him back to 12.
Exactly. Gradually. Yeah.
And he's really struggling with it. But like, that's something that I realize is my hardest thing. I have one vata completely pushed back. Ooh. I have so many questions for you, Colette.
Go for it.
Pitta people. I have a lot of skin issues for high pittas.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why I pause is because I want to see how you deal with, like, I'm a pitta vata type. Like, I am high pitta with a high vata and low kapha. Like, how do you deal with those people rather than the high pittas, the high kaphas? Like, how do you blend that?
Well, we all are a blend of the 3 doshas. That's something I should explain to people. We all, at our birth constitution, our dosha, or birth constitution is the same thing, is determined at conception. We get it from our parents. We all have a different ratio of vata, pitta, kapha in our constitution.
Yes.
So now some people, there's very rarely would you find someone that's totally pitta. They may be very high pitta, but have a little kapha or a little vata, you know. Yeah. So just to clarify that for people. But for pitta, yes, the skin is a big issue. They tend to, we talked about how pitta was like the sun's heat in nature and has a tendency to overheat because they're competitive, because they're intense in their work and their activities. And therefore that intensity and that competitiveness, and if they're eating a spicy diet, right, a diet with lots of heat in it, that's going to cause them to overheat, and the body gets rid of that excess heat through the skin. The skin is the largest organ, so it could turn up in psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, acne. And with pitta, of course, the other doshas can get skin problems, but with pitta, it looks red and angry and inflamed. Anything with inflammation, with itis at the end of it, is pitta. It's heat. It's too much heat.
So in that sense, you just have to calm down the heat that's in their body.
Right. And you do that through cooling foods. And it's not temperature cooling. It's certain foods have a cooling quality. And you also during that, pardon?
Like cucumbers and things like that.
Cucumbers, cilantro, coconut is an excellent cooling food. Fennel also is a great cooling food. Mint obviously is very cooling. So those types of food are really great for pitta. Coconut is one of the top ones. But yeah, and not only through the food, but also looking at their schedule, looking at their work, looking at their relationships, seeing where is their stress, where is their intensity. And, you know, for a lot of times with pitta, I'll look at what their exercise routine is and what's their day like, because they tend to be people who push to the max. That's their natural tendency. So they really need to learn to back off and, you know, more moderation and just enjoying things.
Aha. So, because the way that I described the 3 doshas, I was like, do you remember those old school equalizers that that's on a stereo that has a different volumes and a different,
right?
I tell like when you come out, like you have your own special blend of like you like your speakers really, really high, your bass really, really low. Like you have your special way of listening to your music, and that's the way your body functions, your body works. Right. You have to find that way, but when something's off, you have to find out how to get that one specific thing to your level of liking. So, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, yes, absolutely. Our birth constitution never changes throughout our life. But what happens is we will go in and out of balance depending on our food, depending on the climate, depending on the season, depending on our stress levels, what's going on in our life. So we need to know our birth constitution. That's good to know. It's like a self-study, understanding your natural tendencies. But rather than getting caught up in labeling yourself as a certain dosha, it's really important to know your signs of imbalance. What is your tendency? Like for Pitta people, it may be skin, it may be loose stool, it may be anger, because all that heat is coming out. For Vata people, the signs of imbalance would be more mental agitation, anxiety, or they may suffer, all that wind is causing dryness in the body. So their tendency is towards constipation or just dryness in the skin, the hair, the nails, so on. And along with the mental fluctuations like anxiety or depression or overanalyzing. And then for Kapha, because they have more heaviness and sluggishness, when they're out of balance, that will be more pronounced. So they will get even more lethargic. There could be inertia, just no get up and go, no motivation. They may just want to chill in the house and not do anything. They have a hard time, and everything in their body, the digestion will be sluggish too. And of course, then that will cause weight gain as well.
Yeah. So what else do you do besides the Ayurveda aspect? Like I was, you were talking about your initial consultation. After your initial consultation, which is pretty much finding out their doshas. I don't know your consultation, but it's finding out their dosha, finding out who they are, finding out what's going on, and then making a plan that they can run with, and then you walk them through it. But what else do you do within that?
Okay, so the initial, I offer first of all like a discovery call, so they can get to know me and see if they connect with me and they want to work with me. And then after that, we do a 90-minute in-depth consultation. I give them paperwork to fill out in advance. And then from there, we determine their birth constitution. It's like 60 minutes of questions. It's a lot of listening from me. And I ask them about every aspect of their life because everything affects their life. So we determine their birth constitution, and then we see what their current state of imbalance is. Do they have something that they need to bring back into balance? Where is there issues in their life? And then we look at putting a strategy together. We look at their food, their eating plan, their exercise, their daily routine, their work. And so for some people, that will be enough, just that consultation. Now, if I feel that somebody is really out of balance, they may need a total reset. And then I do a digestive reset cleanse to completely reset the whole body. We know that the digestive system houses 80% of our immunity. Therefore, a lot of the problems start in the gut. And now scientists are agreeing with what Ayurveda said 5,000 years ago, which is amazing, right? So we do, if necessary, I do a digestive reset cleanse. That's a 3-week, and it's a nurturing cleanse. You're eating throughout. There's no starving in this cleanse. It's all about rejuvenation and nurturing the person. There's definitely no fasting. And then another option is, and again, it's very individual. In Ayurveda, it's all individual, depends very much on what the person needs. I also have a daily habits for holistic health course, which we talk about the circadian rhythms. And that's an online course I have where you can learn about the circadian rhythms and how to tune your life and schedule your day to work in tune with the circadian rhythms. And in that course also, I talk a lot about the mental gunas, how to balance your mind. I give yoga videos, meditation, and breath work. And I also talk about how to feed your intuition and connect to your intuition and the power of positivity and compassion. And I also teach people how to become their own healer, understanding that simple principle of opposites. And it's really logical. That's why I love Ayurveda. Like increases like, and opposites balance. I mean, once you understand that, that's what my whole deal is. I want to empower people to take charge of their own health, to be confident and not outsourcing their health as we're prone to do now. Is really
tell people as well.
What's that?
That's what I tell people as well. That's what practice is about.
Yeah, I really want to empower people to take charge and to feel confident to make their own health decisions and use the herbs and spices and foods before going to the pharmacy and grabbing some medicine off the shelf.
How do you get people to not just trust herbs, but be able to do more. That's something I'm struggling as well. Because like I tell people, like the three antagonists to the story of our lives, the three, I wouldn't even call them villains. It's just the people that you're up against that you don't even realize are not helping you, is our culture, our medical world, and our science. Like those three things are massively important to us, but they also are holding us back and getting us to do things.
Right.
And those three don't really work with herbs.
Right. See, I think what happened is we went to more of a reductionist approach. So science was zooming in, medicine was zooming in. So the problem we had is, now let me start by saying Western medicine is amazing, right? We have amazing
I say it all the time.
Surgery and amazing, technology that we can view the body. However, I think we went too reductionist. We zoomed in too much. So now we're looking at the pancreas, or we're looking at the heart, but we're not looking at the complete system. And it's the same with science. It's to this research is, I believe, as a non-scientist, right? So, but
I'm not I know exactly what you're saying.
Right. So, I this is my belief, but I think that, we're zoomed in too much. And I believe now we need to zoom out. We know everything is holistic. We know that everything in our life affects our health, our mind, body, and our spirit, our soul. And, we need to zoom out. And that's what I think the problem is now with Western medicine and science. It's too zoomed in. But now the great thing is science is like, hey, this ancient medicine has got some answers that have stood the test of time, and they're, now they're proving that it was correct.
There's parts of me that's like they're doing that even by accident, just like, oh wait, that's a coincidence. Oh wait, that's a coincidence. Rather than going there and working its way backwards. Like, oh, by the way, this works. Some work it over there, and they stumbles onto it. And I tell people, like, that is one of the things that is holding us back as we go with the science rather than the thing that's older, that's always been working.
Absolutely. I agree.
To go into herbs. Like I outwardly started I tell like all my clients, one of the things that's very good, especially it's springtime. It's springtime over here. So I think it's springtime.
We're in the Northern Hemisphere as well. Yeah.
So I didn't know where you were exactly, but
I'm in France. So we're the same seasons.
So I was telling people one of the great things that I should start doing, and I've been doing, is ginger turmeric tea with honey. That's one of the ones I do a lot. But everyone jumps to the tea bags and they jump to the convenience of it rather than getting root and boiling the root for a little bit, let it sit. How do you get people to make that shift?
Right. Well, I explain to people that we don't quite understand the intelligence of nature, and I think and of the earth in general, and I think that we have to be humble. I did a whole podcast episode on this about how we need to have humility, not only with, you were saying how we're going, modern science and research and medicine is not holistic in its view. So we need to be humble and take this education from these ancient sciences, just like we need to be humble and understand that nature made the whole lemon, made the whole ginger for a specific purpose, and that we don't quite understand why it works in synergy, but it needs to be the whole food. There's very rare times in Ayurveda where you'll actually, get down to extracting nutraceuticals from foods. It has to be the whole food. It's a whole food diet. And I think that when we do take an extract out of something and like, oh, this is the magic property of this food, there's a reason all that other, there's other components are there. And we lose out on that intelligence of nature, which we still don't know. So I think we need to be very humble and bow our head and go, you know what, Mother Nature, you got it. You know better than us. And there's a reason. Instead of using the lemon essential oil, I need to use the whole lemon in my hot water lemon,
Do you try to grow your own herbs and things?
Yes, I did. When I was living in California, I had a little garden. Here I have a little balcony.
That's why I was confusing why I didn't know you were, because you did live in California.
Yes, yeah. I lived just north of San Diego up to a year ago. And then I moved back to Europe.
So in your garden, what did you grow?
I grew cilantro, kale, spinach, parsley, basil. I had marigolds around them to keep the bugs away. What else did I grow? Kale. Oh, chard. I love chard.
Because I was trying to grow ginger, but it's one of the hardest things ever to grow.
Yeah, and does it need a hot climate? I'm sure.
It takes a long time to grow, so I was going to bring it inside for the wintertime, but for some reason, like, I was wondering if it would be easier if people could try to grow their stuff, their ginger, their turmeric.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, that'd be amazing because you know then exactly what you're putting on it, which is hopefully just water, and you know exactly where it come from. And you can talk to it every day and give it love and good energy because we know all that energy affects the quality of the plant.
And so many people, like, I'm a gardener. I have a big garden and like,
great.
I just went on to a whole rant just there, but I don't want to do that. Oh wait, I do have a question. When I did the Khichdi cleanse, I did it with my protein shake with greens in the morning, Khichdi with lunch and beets. And inside the Khichdi, it had different vegetables, et cetera, different spices. I'm high pitta. And then at dinner time, we had a small piece I had another shake with my protein shake with greens and another small bowl of Khichdi. I did awesome on that. But you were talking about your 3-week detox. What is different within your because I was thinking, and then the bigger question is, you start people off with that? I feel like every time I tried to start someone off with the cleanse, they would blow up. They couldn't take it.
Okay, so the reason, thanks for asking that. The reason why it's 3 weeks, you're not cleansing for 3 weeks. The first week is just preparing for your cleanse, which is really important. Because if you go from just to say if you're eating the standard American diet and drinking coffee and whatever and maybe sugary snacks and then the next day you're like, oh, I'm cleansing, your body is going to let you know all about it. It's going to be rough. So the first week is a preparation week, so it's all about eliminating caffeine, processed foods, and refined sugars. So you have 7 days to gradually eliminate so you don't get any headaches, so that when you go into week 2, the cleanse week, you're not, feeling those really severe cleanse symptoms. So yeah, week 1 is preparation. You eat, we'll talk about what foods you eat because we're eliminating any processed stuff. And then week 2 is a cleanse that's tailored to your needs. So you're using herbs and spices and foods tailored to what you need. So I tailor to each person. Mm-hmm. And then in week 3, after a cleanse, you're left really depleted. Your body has gone through a lot of work and used a lot of energy to pull those fat-soluble toxins out of the fat cells where the body stores them to protect the body. So it's gone through a lot and it's pretty depleted post-cleanse. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of cleanses leave you. And that's when your digestion fire may be a little low, your immunity may be a little low. So in week 3, I do a rejuvenation where you're gradually bringing back in foods, but you're bringing in foods that we consider sattvic, that are very healing for the body.
Sattvic, you said?
Sattvic, S-A-T-T-V-I-C, sattvic. So these foods are known to be very healing for the body, and they're going to build back up a strong foundation of cells and tissues.
Oh, so what's a sattvic food?
A sattvic food is things like dates, sweet potato, mangoes. There's lots of different sattvic foods. But
that was all across the realm right there.
Yeah.
Mangoes, sweet
right? But those foods are really nourishing for the body. They're very healing to the body, and that they're pretty much tri-doshic, so they're good for everybody.
Oh, okay. So do you just do the Khichdi with it? Because in my head, I was like, the Khichdi is just something really simple and easy that everyone can get into, but it sounds like yours is way more.
No, yeah, I do a Khichdi a tailored Khichdi for the main meal in the middle of the day. And again, that would be tailored depending. Some people won't use rice because it may not be good for them. Some people will use different herbs and spices. So it's very different for each person. In the morning, we have like these, I use ghee as a cleansing agent.
I use it as well.
Clarified butter pulls out. So I have these special kind of bliss balls that you make out of the ghee with lots of other spices. They have that in the morning. And then you're not fasting. I have snacks in the middle of the day for the people that need it.
So you do snacks? Because
they need it.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. Like a kapha person would probably not need that. A pitta person who has a really strong digestive fire they may need a snack, or they may get really hangry and like bite someone's head off. So
Yeah,
you may need to
I'm an
pacify
apple
them.
kind of guy. Like I have an apple at the 3 o'clock hour. So
Right, and that's exactly what I use as a snack. But I would recommend that you stew that apple with a little bit of ghee and a little bit of cinnamon, and that will make it easier to digest.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
That sounds
stewing,
delicious.
yeah, like an apple sauce, I think you call it in the States. I say stewed apples, but I think like an apple sauce. You make an apple sauce out of
And
it.
you can add cinnamon to that too, and that'll be ridiculously dope. Oh.
Right, and that will balance your blood sugars, so that when you're going through the cleanse, your blood sugars don't, go all over the place, because that could be a problem for some people.
Ah.
And then in the evening, I do different soups. And depending on if the person has a strong digestion, I'll add more food in for them. So really tailored to each person.
So I don't want to give too much away, because I just realized we're talking about ridiculously good stuff. I should just like launch it like a pot, because you talk to all these people and it's kind of like what we're just doing right now. You're doing interviews and I'm doing that for you. Maybe I should just put it on YouTube and give it away. I was just thinking that just now.
Oh, what do you think, for a podcast or for on your YouTube channel? The cleanse you're talking about?
Yeah, because the way that we're talking about it is very much so. I'm very curious about what you do and how you're doing it, and I'm adding in things that I do. And I was like, oh my God, I'm interviewing you when I just want to talk to you. So I should just do that. So I don't want to keep on asking questions. I want people to call you.
Okay, that's all right. I'm pretty open, like I have the podcast too, so I'm happy to share.
How do you get your people for your podcast?
Well, it's out there. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's on.
I listen to it on Google.
Oh, Google, right? So it's on all those platforms. It's on iHeartRadio. I don't know. It's several different platforms it's on. So they basically, because Ayurveda is becoming so popular, they do a search for Ayurveda, and then I pop up along with there's other podcasts out there as well. And so that's a lot of how people find me. Or, I have listeners and then they tell their friends and family and stuff.
Yeah, because I binged you for I Netflix binged you.
Oh dear, you got it all set in my voice.
Because I was trying, we balanced everything out, me and my wife, and we feel awesome. But she was just like, I'm just not losing the numbers on the scale. I know I feel good, I feel everything, but I just would like to see that number drop. And I was like, all right, so let's see what's going on. And I started getting on a list for literally, she was like, do we have to listen to it again? I was like, we're listening to this all day. Like, we're just going to binge it from the car. And I was just like, this girl is not just doing it, she's actually living it. Because I listen to people, a lot of different people, and I can hear the difference when people are actually, talking about it and then doing something else.
Right.
Not like you're actually living it.
Oh no, yeah, I'm 100% committed to it. I'm really passionate, and that's why I'm sharing it, because I think it changed my life. So I just wanted other people to know that this, Ayurveda is amazing. It's logical. It's natural. I'm not pushing any supplements or anything like that, or any, different type of products. It's just learn about yourself and connect to nature is basically what it's about. But my biggest.
No, go ahead. So your biggest.
No, my biggest my biggest overarching theme, and the theme of Ayurveda is, yes, you start with a self-study, teach the person about themselves. It has to start with a self-study. Then you help bring them into balance. But the whole purpose of that is so that they can connect to their intuition, to their true nature. And when they're not worried about their pains or aches or digestion or elimination problems, they have more space physically and mentally to think about the world around them and look at the bigger picture of life. So rather than being like, oh, I'm hurting, I'm this and that, it's like, whoa, like, what am I here for? What's my purpose? What's my passions? How do I help others? How can I be a part of this oneness of the world? So that's the bigger theme. But, you get people started with discovering their true nature, their constitution type, getting them in balance. And then the whole, with that comes this energy of like, they open up to the bigger picture of things and like, oh, I'm part of something. I'm connected to nature. Therefore, I'm also connected to everybody else. And how do I make this world a better place? What is my skill set? What do I need to bring to life?
Talking about themes, my pain practice is all about getting people to balance out. And I have a roadmap. The theme of the roadmap, the way that we're talking about it, is like, first you have to find the root problem. The root problem comes with figuring out where you are now, discovering about yourself, seeing all that, seeing where you want to be, and then creating a game plan that's balanced.
Right.
Then you actually have to flow through that game plan, where this is where a lot of my stuff comes in. Like I have to take apart your limiting beliefs. How do you believe it? I have to get you to balance your body and work with your body exercise wise. And then I have to get you energetically connected, very similar to the way that you do yoga practice, your everything like that. And then we make it realistic where it's long term.
Right.
So in the speaking about themes, what is your theme? Because you just told me the theme of Ayurveda, which made me think, what is your theme of your whole overarching practice? Your whole thing when you work with somebody, what is your steps of the road?
So I go through the steps are the consult, and depending from that consult, I will direct them in whatever way they need, whether it's a cleanse, whether it's the daily habits, whether it's both. But my goal is to educate the person, empower them to make their own decisions for their health, but also to help them to connect to their true nature. What are they here for? What is their true passion? Because I would think that we all have something to give, a gift to give to the world. And I want people to be so in touch with their true nature, in touch with their intuition, that they're using that as a guide rather than taking the pressure from society, but finding out what's within them to bring into the world.
That's big. That's huge. Don't you get people that's just like scared, like, you want me to?
Well, that's why I don't start with that. I start with next.
That's a big one.
Yeah, no, that could freak some people out. So I start with, let's find out about your constitution. But then once they get into it, I have so many clients that they're gone on to study Ayurveda because they love it that much, and it's changed, their life, and it's changed how they're living their life. So that's why I start with, let's just figure out you first. Because if people are suffering with ailments, or their pains and aches, or their digestion's not working right, they're not going to be thinking about their purpose right now because they don't have the energy. All that energy has been lost on pain and suffering, whether it's physical or mental. So they can't even look at that big picture. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I need to figure this out first. So that's why they need to figure out and bring themselves into balance. So it starts with a self-study, but then I think then we need to shift out of ourselves, because I think sometimes we can get too focused on ourselves. Then once we're in balance, once we understand ourselves, we know how to keep ourselves in balance, we feel good. Now it's like, okay, let's look at the bigger picture of things, and how can I be a part of this energy of the world and be compassionate and have empathy and help others? Because our true... Pardon?
I was just saying in my head. Sorry, keep on going.
Okay. No, because for me, our true purpose of being here is to be in service for others, and that makes us feel so good when we're serving others, when we're helping others. What better feeling is there than that? And so that's what we want. I want a world where people are compassionate and empathetic and help each other.
Well, that's true. And what you heard me mumble, I was like, oh, so the way that everyone should think about it is, when you're out of balance, you should think of just triage. The way the Western hospital throws you in the emergency room, they get you stable. Once you get stable, you get kicked out. But now you have to learn how to fend for yourself.
Right.
That's what I was just thinking about. I was like, oh, it's kind of like triage. Like you have to get yourself right, and then after you're right, that's when you think about the bigger picture.
Exactly. And then in Ayurveda, we give the tools. We set you up with a daily routine with the ideal foods for you. Ayurveda is like the manual to life that most of us never received. It tells you about everything. And not only tells you about your mind-body type or constitution, all those words are interchangeable, or dosha, they're all the same thing, mind-body type. Yep. But it also tells you about what climate's best for you, what career is best for you, what time of the day you should eat, obviously what time of the day you should sleep, when's your most focused time of day, so you can get your intellectual focused work done. And it goes on, but it tells you about everything. It's like we literally should be given this manual as kids, and it would save us years of trying to figure ourselves out.
Well, I agree with that, because I'm now starting, because I did this all intuitively. And I'm starting to read. Oh no, here we go. I can't say his name. It's a red book with. I'm not gonna go.
Is it Ayurveda book?
It's an Ayurveda book. He has a cookbook with his wife. It's old. It seems old.
Dr. Vasant Lad?
That.
Okay.
But how do you say Vasant?
Vasant Lad.
Yes.
Yes.
So his wife. I didn't get to the cookbook just yet, which now makes me think I should be reading that cookbook. but I've been
Yeah, he's one of the main Ayurvedic people in the States. He has the Ayurvedic Institute in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, and he is one of the pioneers of Ayurveda, definitely in the West.
Did you study there?
No, I didn't study there. I started with Kerala Ayurveda Academy.
Where?
Kerala Ayurveda Academy. They have a base in Kerala in India, but they also have a school in California. And I studied online.
I was just going to ask you, what's the difference? Would you say people should try it online because everything is going online now?
Yeah, you could. I know a lot of schools now you can study online, but then you need to come to do, one weekend every quarter or something to do some practical stuff. But yeah, absolutely. I was away. I wasn't in the States at the time, so I started studying online.
Oh, sweet. Well, you answered the majority of my questions. I don't want to take any more time because I said I was going to do short, but then I got away.
That's all right.
Is there anything that I can answer for you, mindset-wise, belief-wise? Anything I can help you out with at all? Because you just...
No, but I'd love to know a little bit about, well, you told me about your strategy and how you help people, and you said you were studying massage.
In 2001, I started as a massage therapist, and then because I dislocated carpals, I studied so many different things within the world of muscle balancing. And then I'm personally a geek in a way where I would find a mentor and I would stay with that mentor, learn everything that person knew. And it always took me years, and I went from muscle balancing to energetic work to mindset, childhood belief work, eliminating grounding. And then I was eventually able to clear up my vision, where I was almost legally blind, and now I'm wearing my lowest vision to date.
Wow, great.
Which now, me understanding my pitta-ness, that's the way I call it, it also has a lot to do with why my eyes are not completely pushing over, because I'm not completely as low as I possibly can, which then pulls energy from my eyes.
Oh, interesting. And the eye is the organ of pitta.
Yeah. So that's why I was just like, oh shoot, I'm still completely not balanced because I haven't figured out the last little bit in that world. But I've done all that now. I constructed my live pain-free process. And with that process, I'm always looking for the root cause to start.
That's great.
Find the root cause. I have to find out who they are, what the person is. And then once we have that, we can get a game plan going, which I tell people about the Mission Critical 3. It's all about the way you move, the way you eat, the way you sleep. All three of those got to be in line. And now I added in the Ayurveda aspect, which is based off your constitution. You should be, most people, I tell people, try to get sleep by 10:30 the latest. Wake up closer to the 6 o'clock hour, and then slowly meander into your 8, 9 o'clock. Do what you have to do, and that's where you do a lot of your movement-based workouts, which is not heavy, hard workouts, but easy. From there, then we go through that, and once I have the Mission Critical and they have that in line, that's when I start adding in things like the cleanses and things like emotional belief work, where I'm doing EMDR and I'm clearing up belief work where their limiting beliefs are giving them the same routine over and over again. So we get them aware and clear that out. Then we do that. And then we start working on what's the better workout. Like my wife is in the stage where the only time we have is that 5:30 time. So she's doing a class where it's a lot of picking things up and putting things down. It's a harder based workout, but because she's such a kapha,
she needs movement.
She needs to move and she needs to use her muscles. And now she's taking off, but she's getting joint type pains, which now I'm understanding that's also a kapha type thing because she's fluid based. And now am I adding in too much movement for her kapha-ness? Like that's small things I'm still trying to figure out throughout. But once I have that in line, then it's just a matter of, all right, let me see what's happening in your life. And as you talk to me through your life, then we can adjust you through what's happening and how you deal with your new mindset, with your new body type, with your new energetic projection. Then we go through daily on all. So my practice is more, I find out about you, you tell me what's going on, and then we put you right into that moment, because what you see and what you experience actually reverberates into now. So you can tell, like I already found out that you're a visual learner. Because when you told me about your garden, you actually looked at your garden.
Yeah.
You had it said I had the spinach here, I had the kale here, I had my sweet.
Yes.
You
Yes.
saw everything, and then the marigolds all around. Like I could see the picture. So based off of that, I just have to now tell me what's going on in your life, and then visualize it. Then I can feel what you're feeling through. I'm like, all right, so now I can balance out what's happening and teach you how to deal with what's going on within now, which then you deal with what's happening there. And that's how my practice has grown. It's more sitting down and understanding that person and then getting them to see them.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Wonderful. That
Does
sounds
answer
good.
your question?
Yeah, that's amazing.